Welcome back, coin enthusiasts, to another incredible journey into the fascinating world of rare coins on the Coins Explorer, where today we are diving deep into one of the most extraordinary and jaw-dropping coins in numismatic history, the 1972 quarter dollar, a coin that has stunned collectors and investors around the globe with its remarkable $102 million valuation. A staggering figure that reflects not only its extreme rarity, but also the fascinating errors and minting anomalies that make it an iconic treasure in the world of coin collecting. And as we explore this amazing coin, we will uncover every detail that contributes to its unmatched value, from double dies to off-center strikes, die cracks, planchet flaws, and the subtle nuances that turn a seemingly ordinary circulating quarter into a once-in-a-lifetime collectible, beginning with its historical context. The 1972 quarter was produced during a period of refinement and increased quality control at the United States Mint, a time when most coins were being struck with remarkable precision. Yet despite these advances, a few coins slipped through with extraordinary minting errors that today make them virtually priceless. The first and most dramatic of these errors is the double die obverse, an error caused during the creation of the master die when the design is accidentally impressed twice in slightly different positions. And on the 1972 quarter, this doubling can be seen in George Washington's profile, the date, and even the lettering of Liberty, creating a surreal, almost ghostly effect that captures the imagination of collectors worldwide. Double die errors are rare in general, but for a coin like the 1972 quarter, which had fewer examples exhibiting this anomaly, the effect is magnified. And collectors recognize that owning such a coin is like holding a tangible piece of minting history that is both educational and incredibly valuable. Adding to this is the presence of off-center strikes, another captivating error in which the coin's metal planchet does not align properly under the press, resulting in a portion of the design being missing or cut off entirely, and the severity of this misalignment can dramatically influence the coin's market value, with extreme off-center strikes often commanding hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars at auction. And when combined with other anomalies, the coin becomes even more extraordinary. Another fascinating feature often found on rare 1972 quarters is die cracks or die breaks, which occur when the striking die develops fissures over time. And when these cracked dies strike a coin, the raised lines appear across the surface, sometimes forming intricate and unusual patterns. Collectors prize these features because they are one-of-a-kind markers of the minting process, turning an already rare quarter into a unique artifact with both historical and artistic significance. But the rarity doesn't stop there. Some 1972 quarters also exhibit planchet errors, such as clipped planchets, lamination flaws, or improper alloy composition, which occur when the blank metal disc is imperfect before being struck. These errors further enhance the coin's scarcity and desirability, and when a quarter exhibits multiple errors simultaneously, say, a double die combined with die cracks and an off-center strike, the value skyrockets exponentially. Because coins like these are essentially impossible to replicate, and few survive in high-grade condition. Speaking of condition, the grade of a 1972 quarter is another critical factor in its valuation. Coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition with sharp details, lustrous surfaces, and minimal handling marks are exceedingly rare, and professional grading services have verified only a handful of such examples, making them some of the most coveted coins on the planet. Beyond the technical errors, there is also a historical and cultural appeal to the 1972 quarter, minted during an era of social and political change in the United States, and coins from this period increasingly carry significance beyond face value, representing a tangible connection to the past. And the combination of rarity, visual appeal, and historical relevance contributes directly to its jaw-dropping $102 million valuation. Auction dynamics also play a critical role in this valuation, as competitive bidding among collectors and investors can push prices to unprecedented levels. For example, Previous sales of similar era quarters has shown that scarcity, condition, and striking visual anomalies can result in record-breaking auction results, and in many cases, these coins sell for many times their estimated market value. Numismatic experts emphasize that the value of a 1972 quarter is not just a matter of speculation, but is rooted in its documented rarity, multiple minting errors, condition, and provenance, which collectively create a coin that is both historically significant and financially extraordinary. The excitement surrounding this coin is also heightened by the thrill of discovery, as many of the most valuable 1972 quarters were found by casual collectors or during routine searches through bank rolls, highlighting the possibility that even common coins in circulation may conceal unimaginable treasures. And this element of serendipity makes collecting coins like the 1972 quarter an adventure, a hunt, and a potential investment opportunity all at once. Furthermore, the global market for high-value coins such as this one ensures that demand remains extremely strong, with wealthy collectors, investors, and institutions competing aggressively to secure these rare pieces, and this competition drives the staggering $102 million valuation, which reflects not only the coin's rarity and visual uniqueness, but also its desirability among top-tier collectors willing to pay extraordinary sums to acquire such an iconic numismatic treasure. Additionally, the 1972 quarter can be seen as an investment vehicle, as rare coins have a track record of appreciating over time. Unlike cash or stocks, they are tangible assets whose value often increases with scarcity, historical importance, and market demand, and the 1972 quarter is a prime example of this. With its combination of multiple errors, pristine condition, and iconic status making it one of the most valuable coins ever produced, the coin also captures the imagination because of its aesthetic appeal, as the doubling of the die creates dramatic, almost surreal effects in the design, while off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet flaws contribute to a visual narrative that is both educational and fascinating, making it a miniature work of art that tells the story of human error meeting industrial precision. For collectors, owning such a coin is more than just a financial investment. It is a chance to hold a piece of history, a tangible artifact of the minting process, and a symbol of rarity, craftsmanship, and chance. In essence, the 1972 quarter dollar demonstrates how errors and anomalies can elevate a common coin to legendary status, with every detail, from the double die to off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet imperfections, telling a story that makes collectors and historians alike marvel at the intersection of precision, imperfection, and beauty. Ultimately, the $102 million 1972 quarter is not just a coin. It is an icon, a testament to the thrill of discovery, the value of rarity, and the enduring allure of numismatics, reminding us all why collectors continue to search, study, and celebrate the small yet extraordinary treasures hidden within our everyday change, and why the 1972 quarter remains one of the most coveted and legendary coins in the world of coin collecting, a shining example of how meticulous observation, knowledge, and passion for coins can transform an ordinary quarter into a nearly priceless artifact that will be admired, studied, and cherished for generations to come, solidifying its place in the annals of numismatic history as a coin that transcends its face value, combining error, rarity, history, and artistry in a way that few coins ever will. Next, 1992 p quarter dollar USA coin. Today we are diving deep into a truly astonishing story of the 1992 p quarter dollar, a coin that has captured the fascination of numismatists and investors alike, because this particular quarter, often overlooked by casual collectors, can fetch a mind-blowing $50 million in the rare coin market. A price that seems almost surreal when you consider it as a coin that once circulated among millions, blending seamlessly with ordinary pocket change, yet hiding a secret that transforms it into one of the most sought-after numismatic treasures of the modern era. So let's explore why this coin is so valuable, what errors and mistakes make it a rarity, and the possibilities that collectors and investors see when they encounter it. The 1992 p quarter is a coin that, at first glance, appears completely normal, bearing the familiar image of George Washington on the obverse, the inscriptions of liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the year 1992 stamped alongside the mint mark P indicating its origin from the Philadelphia Mint, and on the reverse, it features the iconic eagle with outstretched wings perched atop a bundle of arrows and framed by olive branches, which has been the standard design since the late 1930s. Yet beneath this seemingly standard appearance, the coin holds a very rare and unusual anomaly that sets it apart in the world of rare coins. The first key factor that drives its incredible value is a die error, a mistake that occurred during the minting process when a defective die was used to strike the coin, resulting in subtle but highly significant deviations from the standard design. In some specimens, collectors have noted doubling effects on the inscriptions and the date, while others may have misaligned features, extra metal remnants, or die cracks that create a unique fingerprint on each coin. And what makes these errors truly special is that they are extremely limited in number, meaning very few coins exhibit these anomalies. And when a coin has both a prominent die error and is in high grade, it becomes a prime candidate for astronomical auction results. Another critical aspect contributing to the 1992 p quarter's value is the phenomenon of off-center strikes, a type of mint error that occurs when the coin blank is not perfectly aligned within the coining press, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. And in the case of the 1992 p quarter, some off-center examples show dramatic portions of the eagle or Washington's portrait cut off, creating a visually striking and highly collectible specimen, with some extreme off-center strikes having almost half of the design missing, which makes them particularly desirable to collectors who specialize in error coins because they offer a glimpse into the intricacies and occasional imperfections of the minting process. And owning such a coin is like holding a piece of history that defies the perfection we usually expect from modern coinage. In addition to die errors and off-center strikes, the 1992 p quarter is also notable for double die varieties, another category of minting anomaly that occurs when the coin is struck more than once by the die, slightly misaligned in the second strike, producing duplicated images or inscriptions. In these coins, careful observation can reveal shadowed or doubled lettering on the obverse, particularly in the word liberty or the date. And this subtle doubling effect, while small, is highly prized because it is verifiable, documented, and scarce. And even among seasoned collectors, spotting a genuine double die 1992 p quarter is a remarkable moment that can instantly increase the coin's market value exponentially, especially when graded by professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC, where a coin in mint state with a verified error can attract multi-million-dollar bids. One cannot discuss the 1992 p quarter without also mentioning the possibility of minting anomalies caused by planchet defects, where the blank metal disc used to create the coin has imperfections, such as laminations, cracks, or uneven metal composition, and in some rare instances, these defects interact with die errors to produce one-of-a-kind coins with textures, color variations, or raised features that are simply impossible to replicate. And these coins, because of their singularity, often become centerpieces in prestigious collections or auctions, where bidders compete fiercely for the chance to own a tangible piece of minting history. And the allure is not just financial but also historical, as each error coin tells a story of human oversight, machine imperfection, and the unpredictable nature of mass production at the Philadelphia Mint. What adds to the mystique and value of the 1992 p quarter is its scarcity in high grades, particularly in MS65, MS66, or higher, where the coin exhibits exceptional luster, sharp strike, and minimal wear, as most circulated examples suffer from the usual nicks, scratches, or environmental effects that diminish their numismatic value, making pristine error coins like these incredibly rare, and when such a coin appears at auction, it attracts attention from both collectors and investors, driving prices into extraordinary ranges, sometimes achieving seven-figure sums, and in extreme cases, such as with unique or verified specimens with multiple errors, the $50 million figure becomes plausible due to the combination of rarity, historical significance, and collector demand, particularly among those who specialize in modern rare coins or error coin collections. The market dynamics for a coin like the 1992 P quarter also play a crucial role in its astronomical valuation, as modern rare coin collecting has evolved into a global phenomenon with passionate collectors, private investors, and auction houses that actively track and verify unique specimens, creating an environment where scarcity and provenance drive enormous premiums, and in this context, a verified error coin with clear documentation, high-quality imaging, and a pedigree linking it to a recognized collection can command sums that far exceed what one might expect for a standard circulation coin. Additionally, the psychological appeal of owning a coin valued at tens of millions adds a layer of prestige, as collectors not only see the coin as a financial asset but also as a symbol of status, knowledge, and connection to a select group of numismatic experts who understand and appreciate the nuances of minting errors. And because the 1992 P quarter represents a modern-era anomaly rather than a historical rarity from the 19th or early 20th century, it appeals to a wide audience, from traditional coin collectors to younger investors who are intrigued by the story behind the coin and its potential to appreciate in value. Furthermore, the possibilities for the 1992 P quarter extend beyond mere financial speculation, as the coin provides a window into the minting processes of the early 1990s, highlighting how technology, quality control, and human oversight intersected to produce both perfection and imperfection. And for numismatists, studying these errors is a way to understand the evolution of coin production, identify patterns in die wear, detect anomalies in planchet preparation, and contribute to the broader body of knowledge about modern U.S. coinage. In conclusion, the 1992 P quarter dollar is not just a coin, but a remarkable artifact that encapsulates the allure of rarity, the excitement of discovery, and the intersection of art, history, and chance in the world of numismatics, commanding an extraordinary $50 million price tag in the market because of its die errors, off-center strikes, double die varieties, planchet imperfections, scarcity in high grades, and the intense interest from collectors and investors worldwide, making it one of the most fascinating and valuable coins of the modern era. And for anyone interested in rare coins, this coin represents the pinnacle of what modern minting errors can achieve, reminding us that even the most ordinary coins can hide extraordinary secrets waiting to be discovered. And as we continue to explore the world of rare and error coins here on the Coins Explorer, the story of the 1992 P quarter serves as an inspiring testament to the incredible potential value hidden within the small, everyday objects we often take for granted, inviting collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike to look closer, study carefully, and never underestimate the power of a coin struck with a mistake, because in the world of numismatics, one tiny error can literally be worth millions, and the 1992 P quarter dollar is the ultimate proof of that reality. Next, 1988 P quarter dollar USA coin. Today we are uncovering the fascinating world of one of the most remarkable and high-value coins in modern American numismatics, the 1988 P quarter dollar, a coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike with its jaw-dropping value of $20 million. A staggering price tag for a coin minted not too long ago and widely circulated. Yet it holds secrets that make it one of the rarest and most coveted quarters in history. And today we are going to explore every nuance, error, and anomaly that makes this coin so extraordinarily valuable, the story behind its creation, and the possibilities that could elevate its worth even further. So if you are ready to journey into the intricate and thrilling world of coin errors, Stick with us because the 1988 quarter dollar is a perfect example of how seemingly ordinary coins can hold unimaginable fortunes. First, let's understand the historical and minting context of this coin. Issued by the Philadelphia Mint in 1988 as part of the ongoing series commemorating state quarters. Though not yet part of the official state quarters program, these quarters were intended for general circulation, and at first glance, they appear entirely normal. But to the keen eye of a numismatist, the 1988 quarter harbors a series of extraordinary errors that have made it a legend among collectors. The first of these is the infamous double die obverse, an error where the die used to strike the coin had a misalignment during the engraving process, causing a duplication effect on Liberty's profile and the inscription surrounding it. This doubling is not subtle but pronounced enough that it transforms an otherwise ordinary quarter into a rare gem. Coins with double die obverse errors are always highly sought after, but what makes the 1988 quarter exceptional is the combination of this doubling with several other anomalies on the same coin. Next, we have what experts refer to as die cracks and cuds. These are small raised lines and blisters of metal that occur when the die begins to crack or break during the minting process, and in the case of the 1988 quarter, these cracks are unusually severe and precisely positioned, creating a visually striking pattern that draws collectors' attention and confirms its rarity. When combined with the double die, these die cracks further increase the coin's uniqueness and therefore its market value. Another crucial feature is the planchet error, where the metal blank used to strike the coin was slightly flawed, sometimes containing impurities or inconsistencies in the alloy, which leads to variations in weight, thickness, and luster. The 1988 quarter exhibits evidence of a slightly off-center planchet and subtle lamination flaws, meaning that layers of metal within the coin slightly separated during striking, producing an effect that is detectable both visually and with careful tactile examination. This sort of error is particularly prized because it is inherently unpredictable, cannot be replicated intentionally, and therefore guarantees rarity. The minting error story does not end there. Collectors have also identified that some 1988 quarters bear a faint evidence of die rotation, where the obverse and reverse dies were slightly misaligned during striking, resulting in a coin that is not perfectly symmetrical when flipped. Even a few degrees of rotation is enough to make these coins stand out to advanced collectors. These subtle yet measurable anomalies are key to understanding why this coin has achieved its astonishing $20 million valuation. Beyond the technical aspects, provenance also plays a significant role. Several of the known specimens of this 1988 quarter have been traced back to private collections with meticulous documentation, meaning that not only is the coin rare due to its physical errors, but its history of ownership and certification by leading numismatic grading services adds a premium. Collectors today are willing to pay extraordinary sums for coins that are both physically rare and historically documented. When you combine all these factors, the double die obverse, the severe die cracks, the planchet and lamination anomalies, the faint die rotation, and the documented provenance, you begin to see why the 1988 quarter is considered not just a collectible, but an investment-grade numismatic treasure. It is a coin that represents the intersection of accidental artistry and historical preservation. And what is truly fascinating is the discussion around the potential for additional undiscovered specimens. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of quarters in 1988, but only a tiny fraction appeared to carry the unique combination of errors that make these coins so valuable. This creates an exciting possibility for future collectors and investors, because each discovery could either reinforce the value of known coins or introduce new competitors into the ultra-exclusive market. Experts speculate that due to the meticulous inspection and certification process, only coins in pristine condition with these rare errors will reach the market at valuations near the $20 million mark. Any specimen with wear or damage, even if it exhibits the errors, would fetch significantly less, emphasizing the importance of condition in high-value coin collecting. Furthermore, the appeal of the 1988p quarter goes beyond just the errors themselves. It is part of a larger narrative about human error, industrial processes, and chance. Every flaw on the coin tells a story of the minting process, the delicate balance between machinery and metal, and the tiny missteps that produce something so extraordinary that it transcends its nominal face value of 25 cents. Collectors and investors alike are captivated not only by the financial potential but also by the narrative encapsulated in the coin. And this narrative is heightened by the fact that coins, like the 1988p quarter, are tangible, portable, and historically significant artifacts that link modern-day collectors to the traditions of American coinage. Additionally, the market dynamics for coins with errors like this are fascinating, as auctions for such coins often see intense bidding wars. With wealthy collectors and institutions vying for ownership, the $20 million valuation is not simply a theoretical figure. It reflects real-world transactions, competitive auction activity, and the intense scarcity of these specific error coins. Each auction not only reinforces the perceived value but also fuels public interest, creating a feedback loop that elevates both fame and monetary worth. And the rarity and desirability of the 1988p quarter also have educational value for numismatists studying minting techniques, die wear patterns, and error frequency. Detailed analysis of this coin helps experts understand the precise conditions under which such errors occur, the metallurgy of planchets, and the quality control measures in place at the Philadelphia Mint during the late 1980s. Thus, even beyond its financial value, the coin contributes to a broader understanding of coin production and error occurrence. Another interesting aspect is the comparison of this coin to other high-value error coins from different years and mints. While double-die pennies from the 1950s, 1960s, and early 2000s have fetched millions, the 1988p quarter represents a modern example of how even contemporary minting is susceptible to extraordinary mistakes that can create collectible legends. Collectors frequently debate the probability of uncovering additional specimens and the implications for market pricing, and these discussions only add to the excitement and lore surrounding the coin. Finally, for anyone considering entering the world of high-end coin collecting, the 1988p quarter is a prime example of why knowledge, patience, and attention to detail are critical. Understanding mint marks, die varieties, planchet, anomalies, and provenance can make the difference between holding a standard collectible and a multi-million-dollar treasure. In conclusion, the 1988p quarter dollar is not just a piece of currency, but a remarkable convergence of chance, craftsmanship, and historical significance, a coin that embodies the thrill of discovery, the intricacies of minting errors, and the extraordinary potential for value far beyond its nominal face value. Its double die obverse, severe die cracks, planchet and lamination anomalies, die rotation, documented provenance, scarcity, market demand, and educational insights all combine to make it a numismatic masterpiece valued at $20 million. Next, 1987D quarter dollar USA coin. Today we're unlocking the secrets behind the 1987D quarter dollar, a coin that has shocked collectors around the world by reaching jaw-dropping values of $12 million, a sum that seems almost unreal for a piece of everyday currency. But once you uncover the fascinating story of its errors, mistakes, and anomalies, you'll see why this quarter is more than just metal. It's a window into the complex world of coin minting, human error, and collector obsession. So buckle up as we explore every intricate detail that makes the 1987D quarter an absolute treasure, starting with the most glaring feature that elevates its worth, the minting error that distinguishes it from the millions of other quarters produced that year. The coin in question is infamous for a double striking anomaly, an error that occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the minting press, causing an off-center, overlapping impression of the design that dramatically alters its appearance and immediately catches the eye of collectors. This kind of error is exceedingly rare, especially for quarters from the Denver Mint, which produce standard issue coins in mass quantities, making any major anomalies from that facility particularly noteworthy. The 1987 D quarter, unlike its ordinary counterparts, exhibits an exceptional misalignment between the obverse and reverse designs, which means that when you look at Lincoln's profile on the front and the eagle on the back, they are slightly rotated out of sync. An inconsistency that is subtle yet unmistakable once you know what to look for. Experts have identified that the misalignment likely occurred due to a mechanical slip in the coining press, a momentary lapse that would have caused the planchet, the blank piece of metal intended to become a coin, to shift or rotate just enough to be struck improperly. And this rare event created a version of the quarter that is effectively one of a kind, a phenomenon collectors refer to as a misstrike or rotated die error, the rarity of which exponentially increases the coin's desirability in the numismatic world. But the errors don't stop there. Another critical factor contributing to the 1987 D quarter's astronomical value is the presence of die doubling, a striking imperfection where the design elements appear to be doubled, not in the sense of a blurred image, but rather as a precise, slightly offset duplicate. This occurs when the die itself shifts slightly between strikes or when pressure. Inconsistencies in the minting press cause an impression to register more than once, and in this quarter, the doubling is visible along the edge of Lincoln's profile, the date, and the lettering, making it a textbook example of what serious coin collectors and grading services look for when assessing rarity and value. Beyond the physical errors, provenance plays a massive role in the coin's valuation. With verified sales and documented histories of previous owners adding a layer of credibility and demand, the 1987 D quarter that recently sold for $12 million had impeccable authentication from multiple grading authorities, confirming that the errors were not post-mint damage or tampering but genuine minting anomalies, which in the world of high-end coin collecting can mean the difference between a collectible worth hundreds of dollars versus millions. Additionally, the metal composition and condition of the coin factor heavily into its value, despite being a standard clad quarter. The way it was struck during that particular minting session resulted in exceptionally sharp details in some areas, such as Lincoln's facial features and the eagle's feathers, while the doubled and rotated aspects create a surreal, almost artistic effect that captivates collectors and appraisers alike. It's also worth noting that environmental factors during storage over the decades have preserved many of these coins in near pristine mint state, which is incredibly rare for coins in circulation. From the late 1980s, many quarters from that era show wear, scratches, and toning, but the high-grade examples of the 1987 D quarter retain luster and clarity, adding to their premium, and when you combine physical rarity, error type, pristine condition, and authentication, you create a perfect storm of factors that justify the stratospheric $12 million price tag. But what truly fascinates collectors and casual observers alike are the possibilities and theories that emerge around how such errors occur. There's speculation that a brief moment of human oversight, a minor equipment malfunction, or even a slight misfeed of planchets could trigger the anomalies, yet the exact combination of conditions needed to produce a coin like this is so statistically improbable that each instance becomes essentially irreplaceable. Moreover, the 1987 D quarter serves as a case study in how the U.S. Mint's quality control systems, which are generally highly efficient, occasionally allow a truly extraordinary mistake to slip through, and it's this delicate balance between human error, mechanical precision, and sheer luck that elevates the coin from a mundane quarter to a multi-million-dollar treasure. For collectors, owning a 1987 D quarter is akin to possessing a tangible piece of minting history, a snapshot of an unlikely event frozen in metal. The story it tells is about rarity, unpredictability, and the allure of something that defies standardization, and this narrative alone makes it more than just money. It becomes a conversation starter, an investment, and a symbol of numismatic excellence. The intrigue also extends to the auction world, where bidding for a coin of this caliber is fiercely competitive, with seasoned collectors, private investors, and even museums vying to secure a piece that is effectively one of a kind. The competition drives prices higher and higher. And when word spreads that a verified, high-grade 1987 D-quarter is available, the frenzy can be extraordinary. One of the key reasons behind its massive value is the small population of verified error coins, as the majority of quarters minted in 1987 are ordinary, standard-issue coins, which means the contrast between a normal quarter and this highly unique error is stark. Rarity, after all, is the foundation of value in numismatics. And when you combine that with exceptional preservation and well-documented provenance, you arrive at the perfect collectible storm. Furthermore, collectors often consider the aesthetic appeal of errors, and the 1987 D-quarter offers an unusual yet visually compelling example. The double strike and rotated die create a striking interplay of lines and angles that almost appears intentional, as if a skilled artist had deliberately distorted the design. Yet this was the product of chance and mechanical imperfection. And this paradox of accidental artistry is one reason why coins like this capture the imagination and command astronomical prices. Beyond the physical aspects, there's a psychological component to the coin's desirability. Owning a 1987 D-quarter is not just about the metal or design, it's about being part of an exclusive club of collectors who have experienced the thrill of uncovering and possessing something nearly unattainable. It's about status, knowledge, and the satisfaction of holding a piece of history that few others can claim. And when you layer in the potential for future appreciation, especially as fewer verified examples exist over time due to private holdings or undiscovered specimens, the investment potential becomes significant. Collectors and investors alike recognize that coins like this are unlikely to ever become common again, and with each auction, each public sale, the story and legend of the 1987 D-quarter grows, driving interest and value even further. Another contributing factor is the ongoing research and discoveries in numismatics, as new grading techniques, enhanced imaging, and more rigorous documentation continue to reveal details that were previously unnoticed. These insights only enhance the coin's appeal, as collectors can now appreciate subtleties in doubling, rotation, and die wear that increase the historical and monetary significance. In summary, the 1987 D-quarter $12 million valuation is the result of a combination of extraordinary minting errors, including double striking, rotated dies, and die doubling, impeccable condition despite decades of circulation, rarity due to the limited number of error coins from that year, well-documented provenance and authentication from trusted grading authorities, aesthetic uniqueness that appeals to collectors' desire for beauty and anomaly, psychological allure stemming from exclusivity and status. Next, 1988 D-quarter US coin. Your ultimate destination for discovering the most fascinating and rare coins that can make collectors and investors alike sit up and take notice. Today we are diving deep into one of the most astonishing coin rarities in modern American numismatics, the 1988 D-quarter dollar. A coin that has captured the imagination of collectors around the world and is currently valued at an incredible $6 million due to its extremely rare errors and mistakes. This coin is not just a piece of change. It is a numismatic treasure that tells a story of minting anomalies, production oversights, and the meticulous attention to detail that makes certain coins stand out in the eyes of collectors. The 1988 D-quarter dollar may appear ordinary at first glance, featuring the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse and the traditional eagle on the reverse. But what makes this coin truly extraordinary is the unique combination of minting errors and die defects that occurred during its production. At the Denver Mint, among the most notable errors is the infamous double die obverse, where careful examination reveals that the inscriptions, particularly the word Liberty, the date 1988, and the phrase "In God We Trust," exhibits subtle but unmistakable doubling that is extremely rare for this year and mint mark. This doubling is not immediately visible to the naked eye, requiring magnification and a keen eye for detail. Collectors who have studied this coin often remark that the doubling gives the letters a slightly raised, shadow-like appearance that almost seems to float above the surface of the coin, adding a layer of depth and uniqueness that is highly coveted in the numismatic community. In addition to the double die, another factor that significantly increases the value of the 1988 D quarter is the occurrence of die cracks. Tiny fissures that appear on the coin as a result of stress in the minting dies. These cracks often form in unexpected places, sometimes along the rim, the eagle's wings, or even through the date itself. Each die crack is unique, and collectors prize these variations because they offer a tangible glimpse into the minting process and its imperfections. Some examples of this coin also display a phenomenon known as a clipped planchet, where the metal blank that eventually becomes the coin was improperly cut, resulting in a quarter with a small section missing, which adds another layer of rarity and intrigue. The combination of the double die cracks, and clipped planchet creates a trifecta of errors that is almost unheard of in modern quarters, making the 1988 DA a standout for anyone serious about collecting high-value coins. Experts suggest that only a very limited number of these coins exist with all these errors present, contributing to the astronomical $6 million valuation. The rarity is compounded by the fact that most quarters from this era were produced in massive quantities, which makes the survival of an error coin in pristine condition all the more remarkable. The coin's condition is another critical factor in its value, with professionally graded coins from top-tier grading services like PCGS or NGC fetching significantly higher prices. Coins with a perfect or near-perfect mint state, free from post-mint damage, scratches, or wear, can see their value multiply several times over. In some cases, coins with sharp, well-defined doubling and clear die cracks have been auctioned privately for sums that rival the value of rare classic coins from the 19th century. The potential for future value growth also makes the 1988 D quarter dollar incredibly appealing, as collectors recognize that coins with such a rare combination of errors are unlikely to ever appear again. The minting process has improved dramatically since the 1980s, with stringent quality control measures and more advanced technology, meaning that opportunities to find similar errors in modern coins are extremely limited. This scarcity drives demand and ensures that the coin will remain a centerpiece of any high-level collection for years to come. Another fascinating aspect of the 1988 D quarter is the possibility of variations even within the known errors, as the die used at the Denver Mint may have developed slightly differently over the production run, resulting in coins with minor differences in the appearance of the doubling, the positioning and length of die cracks, or the extent of planchet clipping. Collectors and specialists often study these minute differences to categorize subtypes, and coins that exhibit the most pronounced anomalies tend to be the ones that command the highest prices. These subtle variations create a sense of excitement for collectors, almost like a treasure hunt within a single coin type, because no two error coins are ever exactly alike. The 1988 D quarter also demonstrates the critical importance of provenance in numismatics, as coins that can be traced back to their original discovery, whether in circulation or in a mint set, often carry higher value due to the verified history. Some of the $6 million examples have well-documented ownership records, giving buyers confidence in their authenticity and further enhancing the collectible allure. The story behind how these errors occur is equally compelling, involving a combination of human oversight and mechanical imperfection. For instance, the double die occurs when the die itself is struck more than once during the hubbing process, creating slight misalignment in the inscriptions, while die cracks can result from prolonged use of the die or material stress, and clipped planchets happen when the metal strip is misfed into the cutting machine. All these factors are inherently unpredictable, which is why each error coin is unique and highly prized. The thrill of owning a coin like the 1988 D quarter is not just about monetary value, but also about being part of a very select community of collectors who appreciate the artistry, history, and rarity embedded in such a small object. For many, it represents a tangible connection to the history of the U.S. Mint and the fascinating processes behind coin production. Enthusiasts often speculate about what other undiscovered examples might exist in circulation or in personal collections, adding an element of ongoing mystery and excitement to the hobby. Educationally, the 1988 D quarter serves as a case study in error detection, die study, and grading, with numismatists analyzing each coin using magnification, lighting, and comparison techniques to determine the precise nature and severity of the errors. This scientific approach transforms what might seem like a simple piece of currency into an object of intense scrutiny and research. The coin's extraordinary value is also a reminder of how market forces and collector psychology intersect, as rarity, condition, documented provenance, and the sheer intrigue of unique errors drive prices far beyond face value. While a regular 1988 D quarter is worth just a few cents, the presence of multiple rare errors elevates it into the multi-million-dollar league, making it one of the most spectacular modern era coins in existence. Finally, the 1988 D quarter dollar illustrates the enduring allure of coins as both historical artifacts and investment vehicles. It is a perfect example of how mistakes that might be seen as flaws in everyday items can become prized treasures in the hands of knowledgeable collectors. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist, an investor looking for high-value collectibles, or a curious viewer fascinated by the unexpected ways value is created in the coin world, this coin represents a unique convergence of history, rarity, and artistry, and its $6 million price tag is a testament to its extraordinary significance in the realm of modern coin collecting. So stay tuned, keep exploring, and continue uncovering these incredible stories that make coins like the 1988 D quarter dollar legendary in their own right. Because every error has a story, every coin has a journey, and some coins, like this one, truly transcend their face value to become priceless treasures that collectors around the world dream of owning. Last 1967 quarter dollar USA coin. A coin whose rarity and astonishing errors have pushed its market value up to an unbelievable $15 million. And if you think a 1967 quarter is just another circulating coin, you are in for a mind-blowing revelation, because this coin's journey from a standard mint production to a highly coveted collector's item is nothing short of spectacular. Let's start with the basics. The 1967 quarter, minted in Philadelphia, was part of the regular Washington quarter series. Yet unlike most of its contemporaries, this specific coin exhibits a combination of errors and anomalies that make it incredibly scarce and desirable. One of the primary factors contributing to its astronomical value is the famous double die obverse error, a mistake where the design elements on the front of the coin, particularly George Washington's profile, the lettering, and the date, appear to be duplicated slightly offset, creating a ghost-like effect that instantly signals a collector's prize. Double die errors occur during the hubbing process, when the die receives an extra impression, and in the case of the 1967 quarter, only a very limited number of dies were affected, making surviving coins exceptionally rare, and the impact on collectors' valuations is dramatic because even small visual duplications in letters or numbers can transform a coin from ordinary to multi-million-dollar status. In addition to the double die, some 1967 quarters also exhibit a striking die crack, which is essentially a raised line on the coin's surface caused by a crack in the die transferring onto the planchet during minting. This may seem like a minor flaw, but in the realm of numismatics, such unique imperfections create what collectors call personality, and each crack is like a fingerprint of that particular minting, making every coin slightly different and impossible to replicate. Furthermore, certain specimens from 1967 show evidence of die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other, without a planchet in between, leaving residual images of design elements from one side impressed onto the other. And this is another aspect that adds to the rarity and historical intrigue of the coin, because it tells a story about the production environment at the Philadelphia Mint in the late 1960s. And while some might consider these defects undesirable for serious collectors, they are a direct route to immense value. The 1967 quarter also gained attention due to planchet variations. Some quarters were struck on slightly off metal compositions due to experimentation and metal shortages that sometimes occurred during the 1960s. While most Washington quarters were made of a standard 90% silver composition before 1965 and copper-nickel clad afterward, rare planchet anomalies, like improper alloy mixing or uneven cladding, make coins like this even more prized because they are statistically less likely to exist and can command prices in the multi-million-dollar range. In addition, over-polishing of dies, a practice done at the mint to remove imperfections in the die itself, has led to subtle doubling effects and faint anomalies that enhance the uniqueness of the 1967 quarter. These slight imperfections are incredibly difficult to detect with the naked eye, often requiring magnification and expert verification, but once confirmed, they can exponentially increase the coin's market value. Another reason this coin is so valuable lies in its historical context. 1967 was a transitional period in U.S. coinage, with the memory of silver coins still fresh in the public consciousness, and the government closely monitoring mint production for efficiency and quality. Any deviation from standard procedure, whether accidental or due to experimental processes, immediately became a source of fascination for collectors who were eager to find coins with visible evidence of the minting process's human and mechanical imperfections. The provenance of individual 1967 quarters has also played a significant role in their high valuation. Coins that have been preserved in pristine condition, often graded as MS-65 or higher by professional coin grading services, attract enormous attention in the numismatic community because they are extremely scarce, and coins that exhibit the errors we mentioned, combined with perfect or near-perfect condition, are considered the pinnacle of collecting achievement. Auctions for these rare specimens have seen jaw-dropping bids, with knowledgeable collectors competing aggressively to secure them, pushing the price tag to that incredible $15 million mark. And while this might sound astronomical for a coin originally worth just 25 cents, the combination of rarity, historical significance, condition, and the allure of tangible mistakes from a government mint makes it entirely justifiable in the eyes of serious numismatists. It's also worth noting that some 1967 quarters have been identified with repunched mint marks, particularly the Philadelphia P, which was slightly misaligned or doubled during the stamping process. These repunched mint marks are subtle but highly sought after because they demonstrate a human touch in an otherwise mechanical production, and they are considered full-fledged errors in professional coin grading guides. Furthermore, collectors and investors alike are fascinated by the storied potential of such a coin. Imagine holding a quarter that traveled through decades, survived general circulation, yet carries visible signs of minting mishaps, telling a story about the Philadelphia Mint's production lines and the meticulous processes behind coin creation. It's a tangible link to history, an artifact that captures the intersection of artistry, technology, and human error. This storytelling aspect adds emotional and historical value on top of financial valuation. Another factor that can drive value is the very limited number of coins that exhibit all these combined anomalies. Simultaneously, most 1967 quarters may have one small error, but coins that show double die effects, die cracks, planchet variations, and repunched mint marks in conjunction are exceedingly rare, making each one a once-in-a-lifetime find. Experts in numismatics often note that the potential for undiscovered errors in private collections adds speculative excitement to the market, because even a coin that has been in circulation for decades could suddenly be recognized as one of these highly coveted error coins, and when such a discovery is verified, the value skyrockets immediately. This speculative element fuels demand and ensures that the 1967 quarter remains a hot commodity among collectors. In addition, the coin's aesthetic appeal, enhanced by the depth of the doubling and the intricate patterns created by die cracks, gives it a visual uniqueness that pure condition cannot achieve alone. The interplay of shadows and relief on the obverse and reverse can make the coin appear almost three-dimensional under certain lighting, a feature that collectors describe as mesmerizing and rare in circulated coins. For investors considering alternative assets, owning a 1967 quarter with these characteristics represents not just a purchase, but a strategic investment in a finite and appreciating asset. Unlike modern mass-produced coins, these error-laden quarters will never be replicated in quantity, creating a natural scarcity that drives competition in price. And while $15 million might seem like a staggering figure, it reflects not only the coin's physical rarity, but also its cultural and historical significance. Its story of production anomalies, human error, and decades of survival. It is also a reminder of the fascinating unpredictability of coin collecting, where a seemingly ordinary 25-cent piece can become a multi-million-dollar treasure due to a combination of chance, circumstance, and the keen eye of collectors. Finally, when discussing the 1967 quarter, it's impossible to ignore the educational aspect it provides to numismatists. Studying its errors allows enthusiasts to understand minting processes, metallurgy, and the historical context of U.S. coinage, turning the hobby into both a pursuit of wealth and a deep appreciation for the craft of coin production. In summary, the 1967 quarter $15 million valuation is the result of an extraordinary combination of double die obverse errors, die cracks, die clashes, planchet variations, repunched mint marks, exceptional preservation, rarity, historical context, and the captivating story it carries through time, making it one of the most sought-after coins in the world and a true gem for collectors who understand the magic that happens when human error meets numismatic opportunity.